Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate the support, the likes, the comments, just really appreciate it all. So as you can tell by the title of this video, I did it. I ran the Gate River Run 15K, finished it, did better than my goal. My goal was 15 minutes per mile average and I ended up doing 14. I'll put it on the screen. 14 I think was about what it was. Took me 2 hours and 15 minutes. But man, oh man, it was just a blast. I mean, it was everything that I hoped it would be. The run just completely flew by. I did a 15K beforehand on the treadmill just to make sure I was capable of running the 9.3 miles. And I was able to, but it was brutal. It was absolutely terrible. I did that about 2 weeks before the actual race, and it was absolutely horrible. It took everything out of me. It was boring, hated it, but I did it. This was absolutely nothing like that. It was just basically 9.5 miles of just hooting and hollering and cheering and people on the sides of the roads. Oh man, it was such a blast. But I wanted to keep some clips throughout the video, throughout the race, just to be able to make this video, let you in on some of the fun, show you what it's about. If you're considering the Gate River Run, hopefully this helps give you an idea of what it was. And I just hope that it's beneficial, that it's encouraging, and we'll go from there. So kind of go through the video. And I've never done a video with this formatting before, so hopefully it all comes together well, and hope you enjoy it. And then at the end, we'll kind of talk about 2025 for my health and fitness journey, what I'm hoping to do, what my goals are, where I'm at now, and so on. But let's get into it. Just made it to the airport. I went for a shakeout run Friday. I didn't plan to do anything too crazy, and I struggled. I only decided to go run 2 miles, and I got a mile in, and I was feeling it, and then the discouragement and the worry set in that I was gonna set out to do 9.5 miles the next day, and I can't do a mile today. And I thought at the time, maybe it was just because I was exhausted. I had just gotten off of a shift at work. I had several busy shifts at work where I didn't get a lot of sleep at night over the last couple weeks. So I had that, I had gotten up early to fly out Thursday. I was up late Thursday night, up early Friday morning. And so I just kind of chalked it up to, hey, I'm just tired, but got a little bit of a shakeout run in. Friday, had some family activities. Oh, mama. That night, I was going to bed early, ended up trying to get to bed. I think it was about 8:30 I got into bed, but ended up not really falling asleep till like 11 o'clock because of nerves and anxiety. I kind of expected that a little bit. Got up the next morning, got up at 4:30. Good morning. It's the morning of the race. Just woke up. Everybody else is still sleeping. So we're gonna do some stretches, drink some coffee, and get ready to do this. I'm pretty nervous. Got up, got a cup of coffee, some water, started taking, I took vitamins. I had some oatmeal and a banana for breakfast. Did some stretching and got things stretched out. I'm usually terrible at pre-run stretching, and I said I was gonna really try to do a good job at getting stretched out and everything. So I did that for about half an hour. Went outside, did a little bit of a shakeout run, but it was more just to kind of get woken up, get the nerves out and everything. All right, well, we have gotten up, we've had some coffee, and got a pretty decent amount of stretching in. I've had some fluids. That's what I'm working on now, just trying to get some more fluids in. Y'all, I'm really nervous about today. This is gonna be pretty crazy, but we'll see. I'm not quitting. You know, I'm gonna finish this today, short of an injury. I actually did notice, though, speaking of injury, I went for a little shakeout run yesterday, and my ankle was really sore, but not bad sore, like, you know, just running sore. But this morning, I've got a lot of tenderness in that ankle, so I'm hoping that nothing's wrong. I've been trying to stretch it out, and we'll see how that goes. But gonna get back inside, finish getting ready, and get this show on the road. Very extremely thankful. My mom and dad got up early to come out to the race with me, and not only did they get up early and come out with me, they actually waited for the 2 hours and 15 minutes so they could see me start and be there when I finished. And I really appreciated that. It's really nice, you know, especially when you're doing a big effort like that. That's a big effort for me, maybe not to some other people, and hopefully not for me one day down the road, but it was a big effort for me. And running that race, knowing that my parents were there at the finish line, was definitely something I thought about during the run, and I just really appreciated them being there. But we left at, I think it was about 6 a.m. was when we pulled out of the driveway. Yep, it was 6 a.m. when we pulled out of the driveway and headed downtown. Got to see a little bit of kind of the sunrise, which was nice, and seen some of the Jacksonville skyline, which I always enjoy, and definitely nostalgic for me, and having grown up there. Got to the race and was immediately just really surprised by just the immense amount of people that were there. I already knew that there were like 18,000 runners registered, but I never really took into account all the staff, the volunteers, the friends and family of all the other runners. But there were tens of thousands of people here. I think my dad had just kind of guesstimated maybe 35,000 people that were there, and that was just a lot of people, especially a lot of people there for just this event, for this run. Got there, ran into an old buddy of mine, Quinn Parman. Shout out Quinn if you happen to see this video. It's good to see you. Wish I could have seen Reed, his brother, who was also there. Didn't get to see him, but glad he finished as well. But got to see him for a minute, but there's just a ton of people, and everybody's trying to find where they're supposed to be. And so we found my wave. I was in wave 4, and that was the purple bibs. If you see it on any of these videos, the purple bibs were the wave that I was in, and I think it was like 11 to 14 minute mile was the paces for those people. And so it was that was where I was at, and we had a little bit of a delay for the run starting, and I was kind of bummed because we were way back. I mean, 18,000 runners split up into 6 waves. I think there are 5 or 6 waves. And obviously we were towards the back end of that. So I didn't get to watch the elite runners get started, which was kind of a bummer. But we had the national anthem and all that kind of stuff. But nothing really prepared me for the emotions that set in when my wave started to make its way up to the start line. I think one of the reasons that it was so emotional for me was because this is, once again, it was kind of like that first 5K that I did, where I had set out, I had trained for this. It was something that I never expected my body to be able to accomplish. And here I am, not only am I at the start line, I'm at the start line confident that I'm going to finish this race today. And so we walked up to the start line, and that was quite a walk because there's a lot of people. And we walked up to the start line, and they're playing music, and people are cheering and talking amongst each other. Here we go. We're at the start, heading to the starting line. Let's go. And I hit that start line, and off we went. All right, we're going. Oh man, it was just the emotions, the excitement, the energy level was so high. It was so incredible. And I just remember the first 2 or 3 miles, like I would say the first 5K just absolutely flew by. I got 2 or 3 miles in, and really, and if you're a runner, you know this, everybody says the first mile is a liar. And they say that because your body's not warmed up, and so it feels a lot worse than it ultimately ends up being. And for me, after that mile hits, it's almost like chains. I let go of some chains. Everything gets loosened up and working well, and off we go. But I didn't even notice that with this race. It just went. Everything went really well, and I think it was just the excitement, the people, and they had Jacksonville sheriff's officers, they had Jacksonville Fire and Rescue, and then bystanders and business owners, and everybody was just out hooting and hollering and cheering us on, and it was just, the energy level was so awesome, and I really enjoyed that. We had the first bridge that we went over was the Main Street Bridge. And I remember back in, I don't remember what year it was, early 2000s, mid 2000s, we had the Super Bowl that we hosted in Jacksonville, Florida, and they shut the city down. I mean, it was just pedestrians everywhere, and you could walk over that bridge. And so it was definitely nostalgic as I ran over the bridge, and you've got the metal grating, you can look down and see the river, and I'm thinking back to my childhood walking over this bridge. And never would have thought that one day I'd be running over this bridge as part of this, 15K.
All right, here we go with the Main Street Bridge. Let's go. All right, heading up the Main Street Bridge. Oh, let's go. Mile 2, 13:14. Made it over the Main Street Bridge. Let's go.
Kept going through the race, and it was just so awesome. I mean, there were people that were throwing out popsicles, and there was water and Gatorade, and people were there was at one point there was somebody that were throwing donut holes out in the crowd. And I was so bummed. I was going to catch one. I think that was about mile 4. I was going to catch one, and the guy beside me ran up and intercepted it. I don't think he realized it was coming for me, or maybe I didn't realize it was going for him, but I missed out on a donut hole. Too bad. But anyway, so we kept going. There were bands. I think there were 11 or 14 bands that were set up throughout the race. And so you had live music that was pumping you up, and different genres, which was cool. Woo! I did really, really well. I was running, I think, 12, 13-minute miles for the first 4 or 5 miles. And then mile 5 hit, and then I started to feel it. I started to definitely feel fatigued and feel that muscle soreness kicking in. And
all right, we're 10K down, 5K to go. Feeling pretty good. I kind of told myself I was gonna run the first 5K strong, kind of walk around the second 5K. Gonna give this last 5K everything I've got. So let's go.
If you want some water, come to it. Hey. I'm not gonna spray you unless you want.
All right, just laid eyes on the Hart Bridge. Taking a little rest for a minute, and we're gonna knock this bridge out and homeward bound.
Got to the green monster, the Hart Bridge, which is I think it's the largest bridge in Jacksonville, if I'm not mistaken. It's definitely something this race is known for. In fact, the logos, the shirts that we got all had the Hart Bridge in it. There was a lot of signs and people pumping you up before you hit that Hart Bridge. There were so many costumes and people in different attire. I mean, there were firefighters in their full turnout gear. There was one guy, you'll see pictures of him here, one guy that was dressed up as Elvis with an electric guitar that was playing tunes as he ran by. That was cool. I mean, there was all kinds of different costumes and get-ups and things like that. Another emotional moment for me was coming over the Hart Bridge and seeing the finish line.
All right, just about to the top. We're gonna run the rest of the way. Let's go.
I kept telling myself I was going to finish this race. I was going to do this. But when I saw that finish line, it was like that goal turned reality. I knew at that point I made it to the top of the bridge. It was literally all downhill from here. And I hit the top of that bridge and I just started sprinting. And sprinting after 8.5 miles looks a lot different than sprinting before 8.5 miles. So my sprinting, as I look back on the finish line video, was not actually sprinting, but it was such a good feeling running down that bridge, seeing the finish line, seeing the people cheering, seeing my parents was absolutely incredible. Now, I've been running now for almost 2 years. I've had a couple of cramps, but I try to do really well about potassium and electrolytes, and I've really not had a big problem with cramping throughout my running. I got 20 feet before the finish line and had the biggest cramp right in my quad. Oh, and it just stopped me in my tracks. And I told myself the whole time, I knew that there was going to be videographers and photographers at that finish line. And I told myself I wanted to look strong running across that finish line, and so here I am sprinting and that cramp hits, and well, you kind of see how it went. So it didn't go as well as I hoped, but I crossed that finish line, and when that cramp was setting in, I was telling myself I'm not stopping now. So I hobbled across the finish line. Cramp went away pretty quick. It was actually funny. I kind of was rubbing the cramp out and everything, and there was a EMT or paramedic or whatever that came to check on me. So that was kind of funny, but anyway, no, I finished it. It felt great. My parents were there. My mom was probably crying, but I may have been crying too. I don't remember, but there's just so many people, and man, when I put that medal on, that finisher medal, is just, oh man, it was so emotional. But I told myself, I mean, it was so much fun. I never would have imagined I would have enjoyed it that much. And I kind of jokingly said that was my first annual Gate River Run 15K. Definitely planning to do it next year, Lord willing. I plan to do better than my goal. Right now, we're coming out of wintertime, and I bought a treadmill last year to try to keep going throughout the wintertime. When I started running in 2023, I got to the end of the year and I went from couch to 10K that year, had lost some weight, was feeling really good. But during wintertime, I ended up just kind of regressing, especially with the fitness. I went the whole wintertime and had hardly done any running. And so when I started 2024, I was kind of back to square one again, more or less. And so I bought the treadmill to keep me running throughout wintertime. And what I've found this year is, well, first of all, running on the treadmill is absolutely terrible. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. But it is just boring and it's difficult, and it's not the same as running outside for multiple reasons. But what I've noticed this year is I didn't really progress through any goals in the winter of 24-25. But I don't feel like I've lost a ton of fitness. I mean, I just ran a 15K. And so I'm excited for that. I feel like I'm starting this year with trending up. My goal this year is, first of all, to keep losing weight. I started my weight loss journey at the highest. I was 363 pounds. And right now I'm hanging right around 300. So I've been able to keep weight off. I went through holiday season, went through winter, went through everything without gaining any weight, which I'm thankful for. But now I'm looking forward to being able to get back outside, get some long runs in, get back into my routines that I had. And I really, really hope to lose weight. My goal this year is to get down into the 275 range. Would be fantastic. I would be very happy with that. And so that's obviously about 25 pounds. If I could get down into the 260s, it'd be even better. But realistically, 275. My distance goal this year is I plan to run a half marathon this year. After doing that 15K, I'm feeling pretty confident in that. I would love to do a half marathon in under 14-minute mile average. And then I really want to try to run a sub 10-minute mile. I've never been able to do that. The best I've ever gotten was like 10 and a half. And so I really want to hit a 10-minute mile. I would love to do a sub 30-minute 5K, but I'm not sure that this year is going to be the year for that. Who knows? Maybe this year will be the year for that, but we'll see. So 275, half marathon with sub 14-minute per mile average, and a 10-minute mile. Those are my 3 fitness goals for this year. Health and fitness goals. I'm going to keep working on nutrition, keep meeting with the nutritionist, and go from there. But if you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate the subscription. I hope these are helpful for you. Like, share the video, and we'll see what this year brings. God bless.